Hello and welcome to the podcast that is less Robinho and more Mikel Merino. It's the big man up top.
That felt like a stretch as well, didn't it?
Is he a big man up top? Feels like it.
Robinho?
No, not Mikel Merino.
Mikel Merino.
He bundles them in.
Yeah. He's got the vibe of a big man up top, even if not actually being one.
That's all we asked for, the vibe.
That's all we asked for. It is very much a vibes-based thing, isn't it?
It is. Now, Ed, you know I've got a history of bumping into footballers in toilets.
Well, you say that. I know about the Chris Wood incident.
There's another one.
Okay, tell me that one.
This weekend,
right?
Driving to London.
London?
Driving to London. Imagine that.
Absolutely insane. Who does that?
There was train trouble.
Where did you park?
Well, I parked in a Tesco.
Okay, great.
And it cost me £26 for the weekend, which I was happy with.
You know what? That's not too bad. That's not too bad
in
at all.
London, that's all right. But driving down, stopped at Cherwell Valley Services, around
Classic.
halfway. Went for a stop. And as I came out of the bathrooms, who walks past me? Phil Thompson.
Oh!
Liverpool legend.
Liverpool legend, yeah, right up your street.
Yeah, now it felt inappropriate to stop him on the way into the toilet.
Yeah.
And it also felt inappropriate to stop him, to wait outside the toilet for him.
Yeah, okay.
So my wife was like, do you want me to go back into the toilet so you can make it look like I'm waiting for you? And I was like, let's just go.
Okay.
I don't want a repeat of the Chris Wood situation.
To accost poor Phil Thompson. And
Yeah.
what did he say?
I just looked at him. But do you think there's a feature in it? Footballers in the toilet?
If there is, we shouldn't do it. That's all I'm going to say. That's one maybe for the football ramble.
Yeah,
that's not us. We'll give that one to Marcus Speller for free. Well, it's been a fantastic weekend of sport, hasn't it, Joe?
It has. It's got a bit more interesting this weekend, I'd say.
I think so. We had quite a heated debate in the office, you and I, about whether this season is really dull. And my gut feeling is no, I love it, because no teams are actually, no one's running away with it. No one's actually playing really well. So I think it's great. And Joe is firmly of the opinion that this is a terrible Premier League season.
I think it is a terrible Premier League season. I think just because it's close doesn't mean it's good. I just think no one's playing well. No one's playing entertaining football.
That's fine. Football doesn't need to be entertaining,
It's
Joe.
a sport, not an entertainment. We also had a conversation after Theo Walcott's comments last week. We had a conversation about whether United from 2008 could beat Arsenal from 2026. Turns out Arsenal from 2026 can't even beat Man United from 2026.
Exactly.
So that debate's over, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that shortly,
guys. We've got some new memorabilia or football shirts. I don't know what you call it, but we've got some new. I'd call it set, but I'm sure to you guys it's a bit more interesting. We got a new shirt.
Yes,
first of all,
see it.
What do you think of this, Joe? Describe this fantastic looking new shirt in the corner.
I mean, I feared we were already heading towards being a Stoke City podcast.
No, we're not.
This certainly cements that feeling further. What year is that shirt from?
It's 1863. It says on the badge.
No, that's on the badge, Tom. No, this shirt. It's hard to say. I think this is the Europa League shirt. So I want to say 2012. I can imagine Peter Crouch playing in
Crouch.
this. In fact, it could well be the shirt that he scored that incredible goal against Man City.
The shirt.
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the back?
Not the actual shirt.
No
names on the back, but it is signed by lots of players. So at some point, I'm going to have a look and see if I can translate some of the footballer signatures, which are notoriously hard to read.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and Joe, we've also got you a birthday present.
Oh.
We got your favourite team in a photo frame.
Oh, come on.
It's Liverpool, isn't it?
No, that's Manchester United.
What
Tom.
year?
Oh.
20.
Oh,
All I can see from here is Marouane Fellaini's afro.
I thought because they had the red kit and
Let's see
Liverpool
it.
the red.
Has
Here
it?
you are.
Deary me, Tom. Wrong team in red.
Where have we got this from?
I spent $3,000 on that.
So this is a signed photograph of the Manchester United team from what year is it?
I think it's 2015.
2015. It's
Morgan Schneiderlin's on here.
It's the Van Gaal era.
Wow.
I can't quite remember. Somebody at UCB brought this to us and said that we could have a loan of it, didn't they?
Absolutely.
They can have it back.
Well, no, we've got it now, and it's got to go up because it's good set filler. You know, it'll sit in the back and it'll look nice. So
show it to the camera.
I think we want help. Where should it go in the series? Should it go behind Joe? Should it go behind Ed?
I mean, it should obviously go behind Joe somewhere.
Should we hang it? So I mean, it was a present to you, Joe. So I think it might be best perhaps just above Heskey or something like that. Something red. It's red. Manchester. Who did Heskey play for?
Liverpool.
Perfect then. They'll playing right. He's in that picture somewhere.
Well, thank you for that, Tom. And please, if anyone wants to send us any more memorabilia,
oh my goodness,
get in touch.
Take it,
podcast@ucb.co.uk. Send us an email and send us your stuff for the studio.
Send us some merchandise via email.
Maybe if you got something Liverpool, Joe's feeling a bit left out with Ed's soak shirt.
I'm not sure
or anything Crew Alex.
Yeah.
Anything Crew Alex.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
That stuff's pretty cheap in the club shop anyway, Tom. So you'll be fine.
Ouch.
Shall we start with some Bible ballers though, Joe?
I'd really like that.
Okay, I'm quizzing you this week, aren't I?
You are.
Very good. Now, Bible Ballers is our quiz that we do here on the Big Man Up Top. A Bible baller is a footballer who shares their first name with a book in the Bible. And so this question will have something to do with a Bible baller. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here is your question. Which former Wolves Bible baller is in the top 10 all-time Premier League list for successful crosses from open play?
Wow.
So I will stress it's a Premier League stat. So this is,
1992 onwards.
Exactly.
Did you know that, Tom? Football only started in 1992.
Football started in 1992?
That's not true. It started in the mid-1800s. But anyway, the Premier League...
That's still pretty old for me.
The Premier League only started in 1992. So this stat is a Premier League stat.
Premier League stat. I mean, I think I've got the answer, but do you want me to introduce some Jeopardy?
Yeah, just pretend you don't know.
I don't know. It's Matt Doherty.
Do you think it's Matt Doherty?
I think he's a wide man, and I think I can picture him. I'd say he's one of those prolific crossers of the last 10 years.
What sort of players would you think would be in that list? Just generally in that top 10.
David Beckham.
Interesting.
Got a lot to say about David Beckham, haven't we, Joe?
We're not allowed to talk about the Brooklyn drama.
You're absolutely allowed to talk about Brooklyn Beckham if you want.
No.
I'll say it now. The only posh spice I like is saffron.
There we
go. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you.
He's been desperate to make that joke.
1-0.
He made that joke about 4 hours ago, and
he just wanted to say it again. Trent Alexander-Arnold in the conversation.
Okay.
Anyone from the left? I don't imagine many crosses from the left. I know that there famously is some
famous left wingers,
some famous left wingers, but I feel like right backs are the most prolific.
Well, I'm not going to make you cement Matt Doherty in. You've been quite firm that
it's really embarrassing if it's not him.
Well, who knows? But
Are you saying Mac Doherty?
Matt.
I wasn't sure if you're saying Mac, like Mac.
Book of Mac Doherty.
Mark, but like Mac.
Why
Mac
would I say
Doherty.
why would I say it like that?
I will let you decide on your final answer at the end of this episode, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
It feels like there's only one place for us to start, and that is the Emirates Stadium on Sunday. The 4:30, was it 4:30 kickoff?
It was, yes.
Yes, Arsenal versus Manchester United. Man United coming away with, we all knew this was going to happen. I think we might have even called it last week. United getting an incredible away win at Arsenal, winning 3-2. Joe, what did you make of this? What did you make of this one?
I mean, I was so conflicted. Of who I wanted to win.
Again, he's like, if there's a way for both teams to lose, Joe wanted to find it.
I mean, I was basically supporting whoever was behind so we get a draw. Not that I think Liverpool are in a title race, let me say that clearly, but this was a win for football, Ed.
It was.
Do you think? And this is what I felt like. I really enjoyed this United performance.
Yeah.
It was so good to watch. I think particularly in the midfield, like Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo in that midfield, such intricate passing. It was really good to watch.
And this is exactly it, is actually seeing this Man United performance. I'm hearing lots of people go, oh, well, United fans don't get too excited. If I was a United fan, I would be getting excited.
Of course I would.
This is exciting stuff.
I'd be starting a career mode right now.
I'd be frantically starting Instagram accounts and not cutting my hair. But, great win for Michael Carrick's men. First question, has he got the job permanently?
Undoubtedly. we can all see it happening. 4 weeks' time. The run will continue.
Yeah.
The vibes will be high. Because let's be honest, he's come in, he's brought a good vibe, and that's what's changed things.
And so what are we thinking? He'll get the job before the end of the season as a statement of intent from Sir Jim. He'll get a lot of money to spend in the summer. He'll spend a lot of cash. And then he'll be gone by November
international break.
Yeah, good.
Shall we write that down, a prediction? I'll put a calendar reminder. This November.
Yeah.
We will expect to see it. And
is Michael Carrick still Manchester United?
I just think this is an open goal for Jim Ratcliffe because he knows it's going to be a popular thing to do, and he is all about getting United fans on board, playing into the Fergie years. That's what we all love.
Yeah.
Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas.
That's correct.
Yeah. United fans are huge on her. That's really thrown me, Tom.
Let's talk about the actual game itself. Yeah. We've got to talk about two of United goals in particular, which were absolute stunners. But before then, Arsenal looked in charge. First sort of half an hour or so, this looked like business as usual, this game.
It looked like one-way traffic all the way. Arsenal had all the possession. It just looked like United were playing for the counter-attack, which we expected. That's how they play well against City last week, and they've done it here again. So Arsenal go 1-0 up, and it just feels like the game needed United to score, I think. But after that Arsenal goal, they just completely capitulated. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if they felt the pressure, but it started almost straight away, didn't it, when the ball was given away. And was it Mbeumo nearly had a chance to score? Yeah,
maybe it's something to do with the fact that the Arsenal players at that point have got something to hold on to. And that's sort of maybe a metaphor for the whole season. They've got something to hold on to, a slim advantage. And they look shaky. They look like they're starting to panic. And
they look like they're in their own heads about it.
Very much
and the
so.
Fans just get so tense straight away. And it's almost as if they're playing like they're 3 points ahead and they absolutely can't drop any points, and it's April.
Yeah.
But we're in January. There's so much to play. They're 7 points ahead. They should be loving life, and it just feels so tense in the Emirates.
So United end up going 2-1 in the lead. Absolutely
what a goal!
Stunning goal from Dorgu, wasn't it?
Favourite goal of the season for me. I just thought it was so aesthetically
satisfying,
pleasing.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So nice. That interplay with Bruno as well. Just so good.
Off the underside of the bar. And Arsenal then, they get back in the game. It's 2 each. And then
in a vintage Arsenal way.
Yeah.
Just scrambled over the line.
Yeah, look, you'll take any goal. Doesn't matter how they come. You don't get style points and all that. Fair enough. So it's looking like Arsenal are going to maybe, get a draw, or possibly they're going to be the team that sneak this win. And then Matthias Cunha, what a goal. What a goal.
Goodness me.
Just run us through this goal,
There's not much to say other than he ran and he hit it from miles out. And it's just, again, such curve on the ball. A great moment. I always think there's not many better sights than an absolute screamer in front of the away end.
Yes.
I just think that's so satisfying.
Yeah.
And United just play there like a team that have absolutely nothing to lose, right? And I think you compare that to Arsenal, Liverpool, City this season. They all seem to be trying to just walk the ball into the net, score the perfect goal, because they're overthinking it. They're trying to control every variable when they're playing football. But United in this game they've got nothing to lose. They're here to have a good time, good vibes under Michael Carrick, and they're just hitting them for fun, and they're going in.
And they found themselves in 4th in the table, which, again, remarkable. Champions League spot.
Doesn't feel right,
does it? Who would have thought? Absolutely. So what do we think of Arsenal? What has Mikel Arteta got to try and do with his Arsenal side? I mean, apart from just the obvious, which is calm down. Because, like you say, they are still in the driving seat here. They just need to surely play the way they've been doing, and they'll be fine, surely.
Well, yeah. It's just such a mentality thing, though, isn't it? Because their style of play is clearly working this year. They've worked out that the way to win games this season is play for set pieces, to be physical, get to second balls. So their style of play is fine. It's not aesthetically pleasing. Again, Theo Walcott seems to be piping up a lot. This weekend he said it's just so different to the days under Wenger where Arsenal were known as the passing team and so nice to watch but not effective, whereas you've got the polar opposite this year. So the style of play is working in terms of winning games, but he just needs to find a way of getting back that feel-good factor and kind of confidence and belief in their team, because they've not won since the start of January, that game away at Bournemouth. And the home crowd just feel really edgy at the moment.
And so they'll be looking over their shoulders in particular, seeing a team in claret and blue by the name of Aston Villa, who got an incredible, I think this is a real statement away win for them, beating Newcastle 2-0 at St James's Park. Are Villa in the title race, Joe? That's the big question. And there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot of, I've mentioned this before, there's a lot of, well, you have to say they are, but nobody really thinks that. And every week they keep surprising people. And we're going to get to a point where they go, yeah, they are, and I think we're getting there, aren't we?
The reality is, if they beat Everton last week, which they should have done at home, they're 1 point behind. And you can't disagree with that. They're playing so well. And let's not forget that they're also playing in Europe and they've qualified for the last 16 in the Europa League. They played in Fenerbahce on Thursday night away and then go to Newcastle, one of the hardest places to go, and won again. So I think you can't discount them at all. Emery is such a proven manager. And it just doesn't seem like there's many weaknesses to this Villa team.
The other thing I'd say about Villa is I think when you compare them to Arsenal and Man City, Villa are definitely the people's club in that equation, aren't they?
The neutral's favourite.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll get a lot of just goodwill from football fans in general, and if they push them to the wire, who knows?
I mean, what do you think? What do you count them in the title race?
I would, personally. I think that, you do have to say City are the ones that, out of the two of them, they're equal on points. City are the ones that have been there, done it. But I think that the way that Villa are playing, I think they are the most dynamic team in the Premier League at the moment. Like you said, Arsenal are struggling. City are not firing. They're sort of picking points. They're stuttering a bit. I think Villa look really exciting, and they're so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Watkins, of course, there's that added element of him being, trying to play his way onto the plane and all that sort of stuff.
I loved his goal as well. I don't know if you saw his header.
Took it so well.
Perfectly timed run. And you also had did you see Emi Martinez? Some classic Emi Martinez behaviour in the 80th minute. He claims a cross and then he just touches his back and goes to the ground. I've pulled a muscle in the back, and then he's fine. And
then he's okay. Yeah.
He thrives on that kind of atmosphere where you can just play up to the crowd, get them angry, and Villa looking really strong.
Level on points with Villa. Man City getting a sort of, again, oddly professional 2-0 win. We do have to say it's Wolves, and all of that.
A resurgent Wolves.
You're exactly right. It's the kind of, potential banana skin. And a solid 2-0 win at home to Wolves. No Haaland in this one.
Yeah, he didn't start. He played Marmoush, who scored very early on. So I think Pep's decision worked. Haaland isn't going to be happy with it. They are playing in the Champions League this midweek, so maybe he's got an eye on that as well. But just an uneventful 2-0 win.
Uneventful but solid 2-0 win for Man City. I feel like the main talking point in this game, Joe, was the referee Farai Halam, who was playing in his first Premier League game. Sorry, playing. Officiating. Do refs play? No.
I think people are saying he made his debut.
It's all getting very Clattenburgy, isn't it?
It is.
Let's talk about Farai Halam, because his debut as a Premier League referee was quite interesting, wasn't it?
I think it's actually a really encouraging story, this was his first game. A highly thought of young referee. He's been in all the training camps. This is to do with a movement that the FA have done recently to try and bring through not only young referees but ex-footballers as well. So he's played for Stevenage before and played abroad as well.
To sort of move away from the whole thing of refs basically being like sort of PE teacher types.
So he had a really good game, and I think that the highlight, which a lot of people have been quite positive about, was that he made a decision not to give Man City a penalty. Darren England on the VAR said, go and take a look at it, go to the screen, and Farai stuck to his decision.
It must feel like a ref to be a bit of a slap on the wrist from your colleagues. We think you've made a big mistake here.
It's like saying to an employee on your first day, you've made a big error.
Yeah. So the natural instinct from a ref is to go over and to side with the VAR officials, and he stuck to his guns, didn't he?
He did, and I think it's really encouraging that he's backed himself. I think we need more of that, and fair play to him, I think, as well. I think the only thing from this story that I'm slightly disappointed with, I think Pep had a lot to say about the ref's performance. In his press conference at the end, he was like, the referee's made a name for himself. He'll be remembered forever for this decision, which I think he will in a good way. So many people have been supported. I just think this penalty wouldn't have really changed the game at all. Pep has an opportunity here to support this new guy.
And let's be honest, this was not a controversial decision. No. It was absolutely the right call. Yes, it struck this guy's hand, but the referee deemed that the arm wasn't in an unnatural position and all that sort of stuff. He's absolutely bob on. Yeah. Pep is really kind of just sort of twisting the knife unnecessarily in this situation.
Yeah, and look, I think there's a serious point here as well, that Farai is of an ethnic minority, and we don't have many at all referees with an ethnic minority, and it's something we want to see more. So my opinion is we should just be getting behind this guy as much as we can. As football fans, we want to see this more and support these guys.
Down towards the bottom of the table, Joe, a huge win for Nuno and West Ham, beating Sunderland 3-1. What did you make of this one?
Well, it seems to have they're starting to play. There's starting to be a bit of hope at West Ham, which we've not seen for a long time.
They looked really good, and Jared Bowen kind of moving back into his more natural position on the right, and again just sort of West Ham feeling much more steady and at home, and playing the kind of football that we sort of, I suppose, would expect from them. Mid-table football, but yeah, not looking as hopeless as they have done. So 2 wins on the bounce for them. Maybe there's hope for them yet.
They've also signed 2 strikers that no one's ever heard of, which traditionally West Ham sign mediocre strikers that then go on loan to championship teams. But these 2 look all right.
Do they? Well, we'll see.
3 games in, they're not bad.
We shall see. Sunderland will feel. I mean, I know. Look, it's an away game, but they were definitely off the pace in this one. Granit Xhaka not playing, crucially, not featuring in the middle, probably having quite a lot to do with it. Obviously, they've had a great season, haven't they? So I think they can maybe just chalk this up to a bit of a blip.
Yeah, I mean, they can relax. Sunderland. They're nowhere near the relegation zone. You're going to lose games like this. West Ham probably have more to play for at this point in the season, so I don't think at any point missing your best midfielder, there's no concern there. It's just one of those days at the office, and you'll go again.
Nottingham Forest also picking up a win away at Brentford, which was massive for them. I feel a bit sorry for West Ham in a way.
Yeah.
Got that win, and then all of a sudden, them other lot have also got one.
Especially because they play the first game of the weekend, West Ham, and once there's no better feeling than winning the 12:30, and then you can just watch the rest of the weekend. And you're looking at Forest go to Brentford. You think that's a nailed-on Brentford win, quite convincingly. But you have to give credit to Sean Dyche. He's got his team playing well away from home, and this is a great win for them.
Now, we do have to touch on your beloved Liverpool, Joe.
Probably should.
Because I know you've been trying to basically avoid it every week, but
it's just a non-story now.
Well, it is. It is. Liverpool very much mid-table mediocrity, sadly.
Somehow in 6th place still.
Somehow.
In the hunt for a Champions League place.
Although that definitely wouldn't feel right if they got one. Losing away at Bournemouth 3-2 in this one. Now, this was unfortunate because they went two goals down in this one, and then got 2 goals back, didn't they? They all of a sudden looked a little bit resurgent, like, they were not out of this yet.
Yeah, which you've not seen all season. As a Liverpool fan, you've seen your team go behind, and they've not offered much in terms of a fight back. I saw Van Dijk score at half-time, and I just thought that would be a consolation Bournemouth will get a third and that'll be it. But no, another great goal from Szoboszlai. He's really turning into a bit of a talisman for Liverpool. But last kick of the game, long throw.
Yeah, it's and I appreciate that must be a real gut punch for a Liverpool fan, but Liverpool have just not really deserved it. And I think actually looking at Bournemouth, you do have to say they've done remarkable, given especially the amount of players they've lost, given the amount of players who are on the injury list at the moment. Semenyo going is obviously a huge loss for them. It felt right that they got the win in this one in the end.
Yeah, you have to give huge credit to them. They lost Kerkez, Huijsen, Zabani.
I think it's pronounced Zimbabwe.
Sorry. Good. Thanks, Tom.
Glad I could help.
Yeah. They've lost Semenyo to Man City. Yeah. So you've got to give them.
I didn't think that would go so well.
Yeah,
that was a real killer, that one.
It was the delivery.
Caught us off guard.
Come on, let's carry on.
Yeah, Bournemouth are doing well. They deserve the win, Ed. Let's move on.
Can we talk about... Take a breath. Joe, can we talk about Van Dijk? Because I've got to be honest, the big takeaway I took from that game was just Van Dijk. He looks like an absolute shadow of his former self, doesn't he? He's not the player he was even a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't look as commanding at the back. He looks definitely a yard slower than he has done before. And look, I still think he's still Liverpool's best centre-back, which we have about 3 of them, so it's not hard. And let's hope it's a blip, I think. But he's certainly not at the level he was last year. There could be an argument to say he was playing for his contract last year, maybe. Same with Salah, and they got the contract. And he's definitely looking like a 34-year-old defender at this point. Ed, I didn't get to say my anecdote about Brentford. So, like I said before, drove to London at the weekend, and we're I think it's the A4 maybe. I don't know.
I don't know roads either.
But we're driving into London, and just on the right, you see Brentford Stadium.
Oh yeah,
it just pops up out of nowhere, and I'm driving with my wife, and she says, I said, "Oh, that's Brentford Stadium." She said, "Oh, is that quite a hard place to go to?" And I was like, well, do you mean, yeah, it is. Do you mean physically, or it is a tough place to go?
Yes, very good.
I was like, which angle do you want me to go down it?
Transport links aren't great. That's good. I love that. Fantastic. One topic, Joe, that sort of keeps coming up at this time of year is this idea about injuries. We've just come out of the busy Christmas period. We've also just had AFCON. So there's constant, teams that are complaining, aren't they, about how many fixtures they've got to play versus other teams, about the size of their injury lists and all that sort of stuff. It's classic conversation at this time of year, isn't it?
It is. This is when fixture congestion is probably at its peak as well, just after the Christmas period, where a lot of teams are playing weekend, midweek, over and over again. Arne Slot speaks about it a lot, as did his predecessor Jurgen Klopp. They were big proponents of how many games these players have to play.
Well, that's one of the things that actually explains United's win this weekend, probably all the more, is that, this isn't just a resurgent team under a new Carrick, but actually United don't have the kind of fixture schedule that a lot of the other teams do have.
Yeah, they look really energised because they are having a week's gap in between every game. They've got time to work on fitness in the week, to work on their training ground. And you compare that to Arsenal, who don't have loads of injuries, really, but they are playing a lot more games.
And that's happening across the board. Even my own beloved Stoke City, Joe.
Oh, there they are again.
There they are again. But we have a huge injury list at the moment. We have this bizarre moment where our first choice goalkeeper was out injured. We have just signed a replacement for him. He played one game and then was immediately ruled out for 6 weeks. We have no current recognised striker, although we have actually last night just signed one. But up until recently, we were playing midfielders in attack. Very much a square pegs in round hole situation. And it actually led our manager, Mark Robbins, to come out and say genuinely in a press conference, no, we are not cursed,
Wow.
which I thought was remarkable that a manager's even having to say that. But, for fans, it's like, well, why is half our squad currently out injured? It's quite an important thing, isn't it?
I mean, this isn't just like you say, this isn't just a Premier League issue. This is throughout the footballing pyramid, that more and more games in the EFL, it seems, you're playing again weekend, midweek, because it's so many fixtures. And we have another voice note from Stat Matt.
We do, yes. Should we hear what Matt's got to say?
Let's do it.
The Blackburn manager has blamed injuries for his side's bad run. However, they have used 35 players this season, more than any Premier League club, and the most in the entire Championship. At the opposite end of the league, leaders Coventry have used just 24 players. The physical demands of football have never been higher. Clubs know that injuries are inevitable, so the difference is how teams absorb them. Relying on a core group of players isn't sustainable. Success will now belong to clubs who build stronger squads, not just lineups. Injuries aren't the problem. Being underprepared is.
So interesting stuff there from Stat Matt. The Blackburn manager may be using injuries as an excuse. I'm sure we've all heard managers use injuries as an excuse there, Jack.
Many of them have. And what's really interesting as well, actually, is you hear a lot of managers now want to work with that small squad. Particularly someone like Ollie Glasner has come out and said, I only want this number of players. Again, I think Maresca at Chelsea, he kind of sidelined 7 players because he wants a smaller squad. But that doesn't work when you're playing so many games and they're all getting injured, they're all tired. So yeah, it's a squad game these days.
It certainly is. Now, I had the absolute privilege of chatting with Omar Beckles this week, Joe, who plays for Leyton Orient, an actual footballer.
Yes.
We love them, don't we?
A real-life current footballer.
A real-life current footballer.
Not met in a toilet as well.
No.
Even better.
No, we didn't meet him in a toilet, did we?
No. We met him at the Faith and Football event at Wembley. A really lovely guy, and also big fan of this podcast as well, Joe.
Loved that. He also he signed for Leyton Orient from Crewe Alexandra.
Great! We love him even more.
The railway man.
He can come back.
We certainly do. But Omar was fantastic. He is the current chair of the PFA, the Professional Footballers Association, and it's a huge, huge thing on his heart to fight for the welfare of footballers. Now, I think it's fair to say that when you talk about footballers, a lot of people will do that whole, oh yeah, but they're paid enough, aren't they? We do have to sort of say that outright. Yes, of course, footballers are paid at the highest level insane amounts of money, but the things that we are asking them to do, what we're asking them to put their bodies through as well, the PFA are keen that we put things in place to basically protect footballers' welfare, and that's something that's really important to Omar.
Player welfare, fixture congestion, it's such a big issue. So let's hear what he has to say.
I am joined by Omar Beckles from Leyton Orient. Omar, it is so good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
No, thank you for having me. I've been a distant admirer of your podcast. From the time I saw the name itself, the big man up top, I was like, that's top, that's class. So, to be on board and to be a part of it is a pleasure.
Well, that's great to hear. I do have to say it's my colleague Joe that came up with that name. He says I like to take credit for it, but I'm going to here officially tell the world it was his idea. But yeah, thank you. Why don't you tell us just first of all about your work at the PFA, your position at the PFA, and what it is you do in that organisation.
See, I'm chair of the PFA, and the Professional Footballers Association is the union that represents every footballer up and down the country, from the Premier League all the way down to League Two, including the WSL. And I get the privilege. I've been elected into this role. There's an election and a ballot process in which the membership votes on who's on the board, and then the board entrusts and do an election to appoint a chair. And fortunately enough, this is my second term on the players board and second term as chair. And I've been really enjoying my time there. So to kind of give you a context about what my role entails, I lead by calling the meetings. I set the meetings, I set the agenda, hopefully to try and allow the executives to understand the concerns and the issues in the dressing room. So that dressing room to boardroom setting is the dynamic that we're currently having to navigate. I also kind of hold the executive accountable. I sit on the operational boards and a few other committees, which I won't bore you guys with. And in addition to that, it's an ambassadorial role ultimately, where, you know, I get invited to some of the prestigious events at Wembley, but also, you know, being a bit of a spokesperson to represent the membership. So, but the board's made up of some fantastic individuals that really make up the crux of the objective view that we have on the memberships. Like, we've got Ben Davis and Conor Cody, and that represent the top end of the Premier League. We've got Lucy Bronze and Kim Little from the WSL, and a whole wide experience that allows us to, basically steer the union in a great direction to ultimately support the membership and benefit people's lives. Yeah.
We're going to come on shortly to sort of things that you're passionate about and things that you want to do, achieve in your time at the PFA. But first, just briefly, you know, you're a man of faith, and how does that impact the work you do at the PFA? Why is it important that you sort of, you know, do this work as a follower of Christ?
Well, if I don't, someone will. And I think, you know, the world's got enough, especially younger generation, got enough bad role models in positions of power and influence. And I believe with the objective moral compass that comes from my faith being rooted in Christ, I believe, you know, believers could be best placed to help steer work like that the union does in the right direction. That ultimately is to not serve my own agenda, but to serve his, which is to love on my neighbours and to have an impact in people's lives. So yeah, I think why not me? You know, we're called to be in a marketplace. We're called to be in the world, not of this world. So yeah, I do my best to make sure I don't become institutionalized by football, and really do my best to be a light that can shine in the darkness and hopefully be an example to many others. And if they question what is it about me, then hopefully they see the Christ in me.
When we were first introduced at the Faith in Football event, you spoke on stage about what you do at the PFA, and one of the things you mentioned was this idea of player welfare. We'll come on to what this means for you as the chair of the PFA, but as a player, what do you think about the increase of games, fixture congestion, and what impact that is having on footballers, you know, just in real terms and day to day?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I don't believe, and I think I speak for many members when I say playing more games of football isn't the issue in and of itself. The lack of consultation amongst stakeholders that then encroaches on the personal aspect of a player's lifestyle. And I think of many examples that stand out to me. For those that are at the elite level, they're exposed to extreme conditions when there's a lack of consultation. So you have the likes of, you know, absolute elite players like Cole Palmer, who take part in the past 3 years. He's not had a meaningful break for some time now. So despite only being 23, for the last 2 summers, he's played in the Euros and then in the World Club Cup, World Cup. And then obviously this summer he'll have the World Cup itself. So you've got someone at the tender age of 23 doing incredibly well for Chelsea, and has the knock-on effect. I think we've seen it with the lack of minutes that he's probably played this season, how this can have a knock-on effect with the well-being, the physical health of players. Rodri's probably the perfect example of having a severe injury. And he was a player at the top of his game who was exposed to an extreme amount of football. I think he played 135 matches within 2 seasons. You see a player at the top of his game who's now had to deal with the blow of, being on the sidelines. And I know this to be part and parcel of football, but I think it's clear to see when you're exposed to extreme amount of football within a short space of time, you heighten the sense of injuries and then the knock-on effect and the unintended consequences could be, how it affects one's career, be it someone progressing, be it, the length of their career, loss of earnings and all these other things. But another thing that probably doesn't get really noted is the social life aspect. These people have friends, but they have families as well. And they spend, especially at the top, they spend a lot of time away from their families. So that could, coincide with having to travel to games and the air miles that's clocked up. FIFA Pro done a really good report on that, about some players that have to travel the distance for international games. But, even when they're back here, they have to stay in hotels for fixtures. So there's a real well-being piece. And look, football's what we do, it's not who we are. But I think when you're exposed to the extreme conditions that they're exposed to, you can't help but feel that these players will step away from the game with their identity being firmly rooted in what they've done all their lives. And I think there's something to be said about that identity piece for players as well.
I'm a Stoke fan, and our team is pushing at the right end of the championship table for once. And right up until December, we were in second in the league, looking really, really good. And our squad has been ravaged by injuries. And I watched the home game this midweek against Middlesbrough. And honestly, like just looking at the side, players like Sorba Thomas and Bae-Jun Ho, they just looked exhausted, and you could sort of see in their eyes they were giving everything, but they just had like no more left to give. You know what I mean? And the trouble is then, and this is my worry, is that's when you sort of get fans getting on players' backs, thinking, oh, they're not trying hard, but you can sort of see that like their tank's empty, man. And so I think it doesn't just sort of create this thing of injuries, but also sort of it must stop a player from giving his everything as well.
Yeah, no, I can think of many scenarios where during the Christmas period in particular, where you end up playing 4 games within 9 to 10 days, and it's great for fans. They get to spend their holiday period, the festive period, watching the club that they love and traveling and doing it with the family. That's great, but amongst ourselves, we are well aware that you kind of have to manage yourself or manage certain games. They can't all look like the high intensity it would if you have a natural recovery. So is that a fair reflection of what the fans want to see? Also, it's like a boxer. It's like, you get into the 12th round and it's just an absolute slugfest. It's like it could genuinely look like that, and tactically it actually could turn the game into a bit of a boring spectacle if that is the case. So yeah, I think as much as we love playing games of football, with the right amount of rest, with the right amount of a holiday period and a break, I think these are things that need to be fought for. And that's what the PFA is there to do. It's protecting the working rights of these individuals.
I know you as a man of faith and in this position of influence, you've got to be thinking like, what would Jesus be saying about these footballers, thinking about their well-being?
I strongly believe, and I think I might have mentioned this previously, but it's the point of highlighting that football is what you do. It's not who you are. And it's an identity piece. Because many players will step away from the game and they transition, and it won't be smooth because they're really lost because they don't know who they are outside of the world of football. And where there's a reality where, for me, I'm trying to be a representative and be an ambassador for Christ, and it's foreign. There's a message that's sent out to footballers that the only way for you to be successful is to be relentless. You have to be obsessed. You have to be sold out. And you then naturally will then create an idol of this game. And what I'm hoping to be is a representative of someone who also plays the game, that also, in addition to that, is the chair of the PFA, is exercising in a different skill set, and is dabbling with a passion project as to say, and has a family and all these other things, but you can do that whilst also being a footballer. You don't have to just be sold out for one thing.
Ed, it was so kind of you to give me credit at the start of that interview for the name.
Well, it's only right. Occasionally I might have, in private conversations with people, mentioned that I came up with a name, but it's only right that we set the record straight.
Look,
I'm so glad, chaps. I'm so glad. I'm glad, we can stick together as a podcast. No lawyers need to be involved anymore.
Absolutely.
Tom, it's not about us. It's about him.
Absolutely, absolutely. But wasn't that a great chat with Omar? A really, really tremendous guy who has Christ at the centre of everything that he does, and players' welfare is obviously so important to him.
Yeah, and just so many things in there that I had never thought about before about the life of a footballer, particularly that whole thing of like when you retire, of how your life just changes so dramatically, and just thinking about what that means for these current professional footballers.
And for him to talk about how the football schedules have this impact, not just on the fact that that they're away from their family, which is obviously very, very important, but also like what that does, being away from your family, that doesn't help when it comes to forging deep connections with your family as well. And so, there's all sorts of things there going on, and I think we can boil it down to just one or two issues. They play more games, they get injured more, but actually it is really affecting these guys as human beings, and we need a work-life balance in our day-to-day lives, and maybe you have to say so to footballers.
Yeah, and look, I don't think there's too much we can add to this conversation. I just feel really encouraged that someone like Omar is in such a powerful position in the PFA. Like so many people look up to him. He's in a position where he can make decisions and he can stand up for people. I love what he's saying about, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Like being concerned that someone else could be in this position and not stand up as much as he would want to. I think that's something we can take into our everyday life of, step up if you want to see a change.
100%. And so, Omar, if you're listening, which we know you are, just know that we here at the Big Man Up Top and at UCB are praying for you and for others who are in positions of influence and authority in the game. As you carry Christ with you, just know that we're praying for you.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, Joe, it's time for the Bible Ballers. How are you feeling?
I'm starting to feel a bit nervous that I've set my stall out too early.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I still feel quite confident.
Well, I will ask the question again. So, which former Wolves Bible baller is in the top 10 all-time Premier League list for successful crosses from open play? You said Matt Doherty.
Well, yeah, I think he's probably the most prolific crosser at Wolves, maybe up there with Adama Traore. But number one, there isn't a book of Adama.
There isn't.
And number two, none of his crosses were completed.
That is true. Yeah,
famously,
crosses attempted.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
So I am gonna lock in Matt Doherty, if that is okay.
It's absolutely okay. The correct answer is Matt Jarvis.
No, you're joking.
Matt Jarvis.
That's embarrassing.
What a crushing defeat.
That's horrific. I feel awful.
Well,
I'm a fool.
You are.
I'm a fool
bit.
then.
You are a bit.
Matt Jarvis.
Matt Jarvis. Would you believe?
We've already had him this year.
Well, there's no reason we can't do double Matt Jarvis.
How many crosses?
Multiple Matt Jarvis. We love it. I will tell you the top 10, and this is taken from the Premier League's website. Premier League player stats for successful crosses from open play. In at number 10, you've got Gareth Barry.
Okay.
At number 9, you've got Steven Gerrard. Number 8, Bible baller Matthew Jarvis, as we discussed. Number 7, Ryan Giggs. Number 6, Leighton Baines. Number 5, Liverpool and Stoke legend Jermaine Pennant.
Oh, wow.
Number 4, Ashley Young. Number 3, this was a surprise, Antonio Valencia.
Sure.
Number 2, James Milner. I mean, that's a numbers thing, isn't it? And number 1, Stuart Downing.
Stuart Downing,
Yeah,
number 1.
530 successful crosses.
Where have you
from
got
open
these
play.
stats? What website?
This is PremierLeague.com, so I'm assuming
What
that's
year
right.
is that? Stuart Downing.
Yeah, Stuart Downing, the most successful crosses in Premier League history.
Wow.
Isn't that mad?
I just found here, reports indicate that Matt Doherty was among the players with the worst crossing accuracy in the Premier League, with a 5% completion rate.
Well, listen, at least
I feel a fool.
At least he's trying. At least he's trying. I also like the fact that you had to Google it because you were convinced I'd got this wrong.
I don't believe Stuart Downing's number 1.
I think it's time for us to say bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe. Yes, I think it is, Ed. It's been another jam-packed episode.
It certainly has, Joe. Thank you for listening to The Big Man Up Top. If you want to get in touch with the show, please ping us an email to podcast@ucb.co.uk. Make sure you send us emails about all your merchandise that you want to send. This is going to be bad, isn't it? We're just going to have just boxes of stuff. Yeah. If it's good and small, crucially, get in touch. Please follow, subscribe, give us all those lovely reviews, all that sort of stuff. And please tell your friends to help us get the word out. And there'll be a new episode next Tuesday, won't there, Joe?
There will. See you then.
See you later.
Gosh, Stuart Downing.